Welcome to Conversations with Nisha, where we dive into the heart of what matters most: love, self healing, relationships, and personal growth. Join me as we explore the complexities of trauma, self esteem, and the intricacies of relationships between men, women, and the journey of motherhood. Let's have a real, honest conversation that inspires and heals and empower. I am your host, Nisha. Welcome to my love tribe.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Nisha, back with another Conversations with Nisha. And I got a little story that I kind of want to dive into and tell y'all. It's just about another experience that I had with a friend. He's not, well, it started out, we were talking, but then it transitioned into something a bit different. But he is actually a friend of mine, and I would say a good friend. Um, I'm gonna kind of go back to the beginning, like the very beginning. So, um, it was years ago. Actually, it was years ago, like way before I had my kids, way before I had my kids, and I met him by a friend of mine. My friend was having a baby. She was having a baby, and we was waiting because having a child is a long, long process. Like you could be in there for hours and hours. So my friend was having a baby, and I don't know what we were waiting on. I mean, obviously we was waiting on the baby to come, but we was waiting on something. Anyway, the time was consumed with something, and we ended up like taking a little break and ended up going to the fast food restaurant where where the young man that I met was working at. Now, let me remind y'all, my brother, my big brother was also working at this restaurant. So the person, like my brother and the person was working together. They knew each other. But back then I was like, like I don't care. I don't care about knowing my brother. Like, what's up? Like, you hear me? Like, it is what it is. So he was talking to me or whatever. How we say in Memphis, he got down on me or whatnot. And we got to talking and whatever. And um, I mean, at that time, as time passed, that was my boo. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. That was my boo. At least I thought it was my boo. But that was my boo. It was a lot of first of a lot of things and situations. But we're not going to get into those things. That's too much. But, we had some experiences, I'll say that. And I was just young. I was always young. And I was always just, since I could remember, I always wanted to be in love, right? And I actually did grow to love him. Real talk. I really did grow to love him. Like he just was I just kind of liked how his mind was, and I always felt that he had a very strong aura about him anyway, and I like how he spoke, how he talked. He playful too. People wouldn't even think that he goofy as hell, but he playful than a motherfucker. He played too much. But he cool though, cool, like real cool. But we were talking or whatever, and we was young, and the man broke my heart. I'm talking about this one of my for real heartbreaks. Very, very memorable. I think I had to be like, I don't know if I was like 17 for real. I had to be about 17 or something like that. Um, but yeah, so I'm just around here thinking that I'm out in love, and like I'm about to go against my friends for this one. You heard me? Like, y'all ain't talking about nothing. But we was deep inside the situation for a good minute, and I think I used to go through his phone sometimes. I think we got arguing about that because I saw some or whatever. He was talking to some girl or whatever. he was cheating, typical shit. And the main, some situation happened to where he ended up getting a new car. So he was happy that he got a new car or whatever. So he hit me up and whatnot. And he was like, I'm finna come pick you up or whatever. So he come show me the car or whatever. I'm like, okay, back then it was I ain't finna tell y'all what year it was or whatever, because y'all gonna be like, damn girl, you old. But it was the Crown Vic or the Grand Marquis. It was that era. You get what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold you. But it was around that era. So I don't know if it was one of those cars he got. I don't know if it was the Crown Vic or the Grand Marquis, but either way. But he got a new car and he wanted to show me whatever. So, I'm like, it was nice though. I ain't gonna lie, that joint was clean. It was real clean. And I think we went riding or whatever. It drove good and shit. I was just happy for him. Oh, overall, just really happy and excited for him. I can remember having that feeling of excitement for him because I know he had been trying to get something for a while. You know what I'm saying? And his luck just kind of just finally he finally looked up on this situation to where he was able to get him a car. So he got him a car. We went riding. I think we pulled up at McDonald's. And he was like, "You want some?" I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm just enjoying the ride. I'm enjoying being in my boo at the time presence, right?" So we at the window, y'all. It's funny now because I can laugh about it, but at the moment I was devastated. Do you hear me? Lost for words, almost. No, lost for words for sure. But we're at the window. He ordered his food. We pulled up. So sometimes at McDonald's they take a little minute, to kind of get your stuff together. So he's talking to me like I'm still like on the inside and whatnot. I'm still happy, right? So he's talking to me. He was like, "I gotta tell you something." I'm like, "What's up?" He like, around the same time that I had met you, I had met this other girl too. And he was like, and I ain't gonna lie, I really been talking to both of y'all to kind of, I guess, weigh his options type shit to see who he really wanted to be with. Baby, this is months and months and months later. What do you mean? Oh, we're together. What? So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So then he proceeds to say, "Man, bitch, man, I care for you for real. Like, I fuck with you, man. You really say like, for real. You one of the realest females I know." I'm like, okay, where we going with this? Like, I ain't trying to be no real ass nigga. I'm trying to be all about you. What's up? So he like, "Man, I decided I'm gonna be with her." Baby, boy, what? Baby, when I tell you my heart dropped down to my entire knee, baby, all I can remember me doing for real was when he said that, I just turned my head because I was in the passenger seat. So I turned my head and I'm looking out the window and he talking, baby. At this point, I don't even know what you're saying. Like, I don't even know what you're saying, sir. Fuck you. Take me back home. Like, tears is just rolling down my eyes. And as I'm looking out the window, I don't know if y'all familiar. I mean, some of y'all might be, because I'm from Memphis. But we were at the McDonald's on Elvis Presley. So we're at the window getting the food and I'm looking through the window, but I'm looking across at the Roses sign. It was a store called, it still is, a store called Roses. I actually used to work at one of my first jobs. So I'm just staring out the window, looking at the Roses sign light up, right? And I could not blink though. Like, I couldn't blink for nothing in the world, but tears was rolling down my eyes. And he like, "You okay? You straight? My niece, you gonna be good. And you gonna find somebody. And this is, baby, I don't need you to give me no pep talk on what the fuck I'm gonna find. The fuck you gonna sit up here and just break over me like that? Like, what the fuck?" I'm talking about, y'all, I was in distress. I showed him, I think, a little of me being upset as far as like crying. But after that, I didn't really say nothing much else. I didn't say nothing else after that. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. We pulled back up to my house. He's still talking and shit. Baby, at this point, I don't want to hear shit you gotta say. I'm gonna just get out this car. So he's trying to butter me up and shit, make me feel good about myself and all this shit. Baby, I got in the house at the time my cousin was staying with us. My cousin Kiera. Shout out to my cousin Kiera, my cousin sister. She was asleep and we shared a room. So I'm going in the house and I'm talking about y'all, my heart was through. All I know is that when that happened, I literally was sliding down the wall. Crying. I was in the dark. I was sliding down the wall crying in complete tears. I was in complete tears. Like I felt like my life was over. I'm about 17, so I'm just whatever. But I was so sad. Like I'm sliding down the wall. I'm crying. I'm trying. Now you know how you try to hold your cry in because you don't want nobody else to hear you crying. Like I'm trying to hold my cry in, but I couldn't help it. So I heard my cousin. Like we in the pitch black dark. Like after I came in from him breaking up with me. We're in a pitch black dark and I'm sliding down the wall. I'm crying hysterically and I'm trying to hold it. My cousin jump up. She flicked the light on and she like, what's wrong? And I was like, yeah, same shit that what's her name? Yvette said to Jody. I mean, her friend about Jody. He don't love me no more. I swear to God. Y'all, I swear, I literally was in distress. And that's literally what I was saying to my cousin. Like he don't love me no more. Like I'm telling her what he told me. He told me he got somebody else. He was talking to her the same time he was talking to me. And he decided he wanted to be with her. Like why me? Like why would you do me like this? Like what's going on? Like I'm lost. God, my first little heartbreak. Your girl first heartbreak. I'm telling you, it was horrible. I was I was messed up about that. So I was like, I never talk to him again. I can't believe he did that. But I think time passed and I would see him around here and there. I don't know if I still was calling him a little bit or texting or some shit after that. But just me knowing me, if I feel like you don't want to be bothered with me at all, like I'm not gonna reach out to you. I'm not gonna kiss nobody's ass. I'm just not on that type of time. I have never been. So that was that. And I think we would like still speak to each other, like text and see how you doing. And then that gradually started to change into just like non-existent. And we just moved on, with our lives or whatever. And he still was working at the same place he was working at. And by that time, I ended up having my son. Um, we moved on with our lives. I mean, my well, I didn't meet, but I had already known my kid's dad, and we had a baby, and I would see him still at the same place where I met him all them years ago. And I'm like, damn, thought he was doing, a little something different. But he was still there. I don't know what his circumstances and stuff were during those time, but um, we just was we it was like sometimes I would see him and sometimes I would feel like he would be embarrassed when I'm in the line at the restaurant finna give me something to eat or something, and I see him coming out the back door or something. I kind of would feel like he would be embarrassed and shit just to see me. I don't know if it was some kind of guilt or if he felt like, damn, I'm still working here, and she looked like she doing good. I don't know what it was or whatever. But, I moved on in my life, and obviously he moved on here too. So we wasn't speaking or whatnot. And I'm just gonna, I don't remember everything in between, but I'm gonna just fast forward. So fast forward, I'll say around 2016 maybe. No, it had to be like 2015. Maybe 2015, 2016. Somewhere in there or something. And I could be mistaken. I'm not quite sure about the exact date. But I moved um to the east. So I moved to the east in these apartments. Me and my kids' dad, and we were still together and stuff, and we was going through baby everything. That man was just dragging me like a red dog down through there. You hear me? Just taking me through there. And we was just we was on the verge of really just breaking up, and I was at my wits ends with him. I didn't want I just couldn't. He just, you know what I'm saying? He just wasn't doing it for me. And then he went handling his business as a man. And we were both still growing up and stuff too, but I just felt like I was overwhelmed, and all the responsibilities with the house and the kids was solely on me. And then I'm questioning myself, like, what am I doing? I got this man that I done laid down and had 2 children with, and I'm just struggling still for kibbles and bits. And I ain't getting nowhere. So I'm going through that, and I don't know what my friend guy at the time was going through, because we had already, departed in years before or whatever, and we moved on with our lives. So I don't know if he hit me up or if I hit him up. I don't know. I can't remember, but I do remember him asking me a question whenever we reconnected. It was through social media, and it was a question uh, about a situation that we experienced. Well, really me. But yeah, and we was talking about that and whatever, and that's kind of like how we kind of reconnected and whatnot. And we reconnected, and like at this point, I'm like, wow, look, we was vibing. You hear me? We was vibing. I think he was driving trucks at the time, or he had just started driving trucks, I believe, and we was vibing and whatnot. And you know, my kids' dad would come home drunk, acting a fool. Our lights about to get cut off. He I'm talking about taking me down through there. So I'm like, man, look, shit, I'm finna just do me. So my friend dude asked me to come kick it with him in the truck, or asked me to pick him up and drop him off there, going, chilling in the truck. But I don't give a fuck. Like, because at this point, my little life that I knew it as was in shambles anyway with my kids' dad. It was a mess. It was a complete mess. And I'm not gonna keep I'm not gonna keep sitting here being no damn fool dealing with this man, and he out here messing with her too. We ain't doing that, baby. You ain't messing with me. We just in the same household. So I did me. I did. Sure did me. And had a time, had a ball. It was one of my little lit times, that I had. I ain't gonna say sneaking around, but whatever y'all wanna call it. And yeah. I enjoyed myself. And that's kind of how we reconnected or whatever. And we it's like now we kind of like off and on. Like we stopped doing the intimate part. I'll say we stopped doing the intimate part. But that was definitely later years on down the line. Like we would stop talking, we would link up. We would stop talking, we would link up, and the link up. I ain't gonna say it was like in the day. Like it lasted for a long time. It was just we felt some kind of comfort in each other or whatnot. Some kind of friendship that we ended up bonding with. We got a bond. Honestly, I can honestly say we have a bond. We talk about our issues and our problems and our situations that we're going in, and he gives great advice, and I do the same, vice versa. And we just share our feelings about different things. And um I felt like I needed somebody in my life like that. You know, it don't get me wrong, I have friends. I have female friends. But, you know, females, we tend to think alike in a lot of situations, right? We think alike. So needed somebody to think. I needed somebody in my circle that could think differently from how I would think as a female, coming from a female. So he to me he was that for me, you know. And my other friends, like my original friends, probably never understood why I would still communicate with that person and whatever, you know. Like, he broke your heart when you was 17 and he did this and shit, what, you know, whatever. But it was something that I really feel like we had for real, like we had a real bond or whatever. And honestly, like, I till this day, honestly, I still fuck with him, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think right now he may be going through some kind of possibly mental breakdown. I'm not sure. But I know the last time we did speak was um right before the new year. And we before even before then he kinda, you know, he'll kinda pop in and pop out, you know, randomly face call me or FaceTime me, or, you know, hit me up in a text message or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he'll just kind of let me know what's going on in his life, what ventures he into, and if it's something that he can share with me, he will. You know, trying to get me on here or hook me up with this. You know, like whatever. Like, cause he see the, I think he see the hustle and the ambition in me, and you know, however he could help with what he got going on, he will or whatever. So I think that was kind of it, and we were talking, then sometimes we would lose contact or whatever. I ain't gonna say lose contact because I think he still has my number and I still have his number. But you know, we would kind of like just take a break on each other for a minute. You know, like it was never ending. It never ended weird or whatever. But this last time, right before the new year, you know, we was. I'm not gonna just go into disclosure about our entire conversations in depth, but we were expressing to each other a lot of different things around that time, like right before Christmas, I want to say, right before New Year. And I just think he was really going through some shit for real. He was really going through the shit, and so was I. And I can remember me being at work and we was having a conversation, and he was like, "You want to do a virtual date?" He was like, "You know, we're gonna make a vision board and we gonna do this, we gonna do that." Friend, if you watching, I made my vision board. I I don't even know where it's at because I done moved, so all my stuff is literally packed up. But I know it's definitely somewhere in my closet in one of the boxes. I got some pack it. I would show it on here, but if I don't show it on here, then I'll probably try to add it in after the podcast. But yeah, like I made my vision board or whatever. I had bought me some little wine and stuff because you know we had a whole little conversation and shit. How we, you know, maybe drink our wine and do, you know, like a vision board, if we're gonna do it virtually or whatnot, because you know he's in a different state and I am, you know, in Memphis or whatever. So I'm like, cool, that'll work. Because I was like, I got so much shit I want to express. I want to talk about. Like, I need some advice. You know, he like, you know, we got to hold each other accountable. And I was ready for that shit. I was so ready for all of this shit. And then he never answered the phone. It was like he stood me up type shit. He never answered the phone. I believe I texted him and I was like, you going to have to tell me something. You going to have to tell me what's going on or something. Because you didn't keep your word. And he was like, man, Nisha, I know. That was the last text I got from him. So I'm like, me knowing him, he definitely got to be dealing with some kind of mental shit for real. Like, and it must be bad because he don't even want to talk to me type shit. And at one point I was like, damn, is it me? Did I do something? You know what I'm saying? I ain't fuck about friendship. Did I, like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy type shit. I was kind of fucked up about this shit because, sir, like, you just kind of left me hanging and shit, and I really needed you for real. Like, I really needed you, but you know, even to this day, I actually think I called him yesterday or the day before, and he didn't answer. I'm much better with when I reach out now and he don't answer. Like I'm like, okay, maybe he still need his the time that he's taking. But I did send him like a final text before I called. Um, it was I don't know how long ago this was, but it was like a few weeks ago. But I was just kind of expressing to him, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always be there for you. I don't know what's happening in your life and what's going on. But, you know, if you ever need me with anything, and I know he be watching my podcast. So, you know who I'm talking about. Although I didn't say a name, you know who I'm talking about. You know I'm talking about you. If you ever need me for anything, and if I can help you, whatever you're going through mentally, physically, financially, whatever, I got you. Like, I'll fuck with you free. Like, I never forget the times when I was going through my situation. Yeah, I'm not gonna cry. When I was going through my situation with my kid's dad, and I had nobody to lean on for real. And I'm talking about the situation I was going through was, to me at that moment, was so toxic. It was so overwhelming, y'all. It was so sad. It was so sad. And I'm talking about, it was sad to the point to where I couldn't even pay my bills. I'm on the verge of getting evicted and my lights getting cut off. And I had asked everybody that I could for help, and everybody that I knew that could help helped. But I'm grown. I can't keep relying on somebody to continue to help me, right? So I can't keep asking people for their help. And I wasn't going to do that. So now I'm looking to this man for help, which he should have been doing in the first place. But he wasn't. And I had to call my friend. And he just don't know how much he helped me during that time. I asked him for some money because I had to pay my light bill. Because they literally was spent to cut my lights off, y'all. I had two children. My baby daddy was not reliable. I was depleted from asking anybody else for help, all type of shit. And I had to ask this man for my money for my light bill. This man was on one of his junk's house. He was on one of his junk's house, and he told me I could come over there and get it. I came over there and got the money from him. I'll never forget that day. You are a real one for that, and I always fuck with you for that shit. That shit touched me deeply. And, you know, somebody else may be like, well, that shit's my main. Y'all don't know my situation. I promise you one thing. You had to be in my shoes to experience this shit. You had to be there to feel it. I appreciate this shit for real. Real talk. All the times that you asked me to pick you up from the truck stop and we'll probably go. I can remember one time when we went to, you almost got my ass beat too one time when we went to Chick-fil-A. We went to Chick-fil-A, me, you, and my daughter, Kari. And I think you were playing with her. Y'all was playing in the little playroom or whatever with the kids, where the kids be, whatever. And you bought us something to eat and shit, and we just chilling and talking or whatever. And this shit was cool to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, baby, I'm already going through something. Me and you went. We ain't even, and we was never like in the very beginning when we first met. But we was never in a relationship after that shit. We are genuinely friends for real. I think I took a picture of Kari in the little play thing, and he was standing right there. And some time passed, and my baby daddy said that, boy, I almost got my head knocked out. but But yeah, it's just like I just really wish you knew how much I appreciate you for this shit. Like, for your help, for real. It ain't too many people like that that's in your corner. Don't get me wrong, I got best friends, female friends that if I'm in a situation, I can call them, they will come. They will help me. They'll let me borrow this. They'll pay for that. They'll watch these kids. They'll do all that, and I'm gonna do the same for them. But it's that shit hit different when it's coming from a man, because all the experiences that I have had with men have been completed that down, and it started out that way with him. It started out that way with him, but then he redeemed himself when we became friends. And he's a better friend than he was a boyfriend. But then again, we were young, so I ain't holding it against him or whatnot. But yeah, it's just that's my experience. You know what I mean? Like with him, and I just hate that whatever space he in, if he is even in a space, that's not so good right now. I just really wish him the well, and I wish he would come out of it, and whenever he feel comfortable, he would reach out to me. We could talk about it or whatever. Like I genuinely love this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my guy. I cannot tell out his name, but those who know know. But yeah, like I don't know. I just hate it. But it's very rare that you meet people, good hearted and good genuine people that just stick with you in life. And he definitely was one of those people for real. He was one of those people. So I appreciate him for real. But any conversations we had, all the times, I think I done stayed up with him when I was at work while he driving on the road. You know what I'm saying? Like plenty of shit, man. It's so much that I could say. It really is. The mind touched me in a tremendous way. But you know, I had to suck them tears back in, y'all, when I was talking, because I y'all thought I was finna. Nah, I'm a G. I ain't finna do no crime. We ain't doing none of that. But not for real, dog. Fuck with him. But yeah, so that was just like my little short story about my friend or whatnot. And friend, I love you dearly. If you up to it, reach out to me. If not, I understand. It's always love. It's no bad blood. It is what it is. So I like to do a lot of talking. I like to create, well, not create, but I like to tell my stories about what I've been through, because you never know who is watching, who has similar experiences, or who you touch, or who you could pre-warn about certain situations. Because I know I'm not the only person that experienced these things or went through a lot of stuff that I talk about on my podcast. And I just like to really create a safe space for people to kind of, you know, understand me, understand, you know, a lot of things that you go through, other people go through as well. So, life is life. Life be life and all the time. So it's all about getting yourself together so that you can be the best version of you. You can be the best version of your higher self. We trying to reach the very peak that we can get to till we can't go till we can't go up no more. We gotta keep going. We gotta keep elevating. So, you know, I think that's my time. And I appreciate y'all for listening to my story and just being here with me. And bye.